Welcome to Life Coaching Comedians. This podcast has been sponsored by, well, it could be sponsored by you. Quite frankly, Talkspace just hasn't been paying me enough money, and Moon Juice and, that condom company. It's just, I want to give back to local businesses. So if you have an online platform, an online store, hit me up and I'll help you make some money. These ads last forever. And I don't know if you know, I'm the next Oprah, and my listening base is just insane. It really is. It's really insane. But I have a new comedian joining me. His first time joining me, and I'm super excited to bring him on. Please welcome Gavin Bloom. He's a disenfranchised comedian. So what does that mean exactly, Gavin? Are you a felon?
No, I just, it's just hard to care. It's just hard to care anymore about things, you know.
So what exactly is your definition of disenfranchised? I feel like maybe you and I aren't on the same level of
Oh,
intellect on that.
that could be my fault. When I think disenfranchised, I mean, just I'm very apathetic. I
Mhm,
just,
mhm.
it was fun while it lasted, year one, maybe year two, but I'm in year 11 now, and I don't know why I do it. And that
So
could,
you're in year 11 of performing comedy?
yeah,
Wow, wow. Been at it quite some time.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years. Is this turning into a brag, or are you more so just not knowing what you're doing with your life? Do you have I see here that you were recommended to me by Tony B, and he seems to be, he's a very misdirected individual, and
Yeah.
the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, or birds flock like a feather, as they say. So um what is your relationship with Tony like?
Uh, I mean, I guess it depends on what you would consider a relationship. I am
Mhm, mhm,
in Tony's shadow constantly.
mhm,
He never lets me forget about it.
mhm.
Sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, Tony, it's been a while since I've seen you," and he's like, "Oh yeah, man. Hey, hold on, my agent's on the phone." Or, "Hey, man, I got to audition for something." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'll just wait here in Phoenix for you."
Wow, you actually kinda sound like him when you talk like him.
Uh, that is I don't know how to take that.
I mean, like, obviously, you spend some time with him, like, that was a pretty good impersonation of Tony B.
Actually, I can do a very good Tony V impression.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Well?
but that doesn't get me work on stage though. So it's like, man,
Yeah,
here I
he's not
am.
famous enough yet, yeah.
Yeah, here I am trying to do something I enjoy, and no one seems to care. Except you,
Mhm.
Miss Charday. I think you sounded pretty interested in it.
Yeah, I mean, I Tony is, and, it's okay for me to say this because I think he's aware. He's probably my least favorite client. But I'm very grateful for him, he challenges me as a life coach. So, you know.
He challenges me too.
Mhm.
Dot
Mhm.
dot dot.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that you're lacking empathy?
Uh, no, I think I have plenty of empathy, but it
Mhm.
hasn't gotten me anywhere. So now I
Mm.
have apathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did this happen when did it all start when you met Mickey Mouse when you were
Yeah.
6?
If
Did
I had to choose a time, I would probably choose that time because it
Okay.
makes sense
Where did
to me.
he touch you?
Well, he tried to grab my hand, or she. tried to grab my hand because I was 6, and
Mhm.
I learned that Mickey Mouse had a human inside a Mickey Mouse costume, and, there was not a man in there. It's a
Oh, how did you
human
know it was
female
a
in there.
woman? How'd you know it was a woman?
Um, no hair, perhaps very soft. I mean, I remember the patch of skin between the oversized novelty glove and his coat or her coattail,
Mm.
sleeve, and, yeah, was reaching for me. I was so excited to meet Mickey. I don't know if you know where I'm from. I'm from South Africa, and when I moved here, I was 6, and Mickey Mouse to a South African child, a big deal, big deal. And when I came here and learned the truth, I was devastated. I think it stunted my growth, actually.
So what was the truth that you learned that Mickey wasn't real or that the suit was worn by what you perceived to be as a woman because they lacked hairy arms? Not
the
everybody has hairy arms.
the truth just kind of cascaded from there. I would
Mhm.
have to say I went down the rabbit hole.
Mm.
And sure, I was Disneyland, and sure, the Alice in Wonderland ride still held up,
Mhm.
but just all kinds of things from, uh, M Mickey Mouse lying to me, to Disney lying to me, to my parents lying to me, to
Mhm.
thinking that this was all just a big game to
Mhm.
Disney, just a
Mhm.
big game to get little kids from the African continent to believe in something,
Mhm.
and then, uh and then not wear some kind of uh, I don't know, like those Under Armour tight skin suits that you can
Mhm.
wear, body suits, something like that. Make an effort, you know? I always think if I had not seen that patch of skin, I could be something today.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So, do you feel like you are constantly looking to be deceived? Are you always questioning reality? Do you find yourself having a hard time trusting others? Do you trust anyone at all?
Wow, Miss Sade, it's like me, um, and that's it's hard for me to trust that, to be quite honest. What are your motives here?
Can you repeat that? It cut out a little bit.
What are your motives? Because you know me so well, we've just met. It's kinda hard to trust.
Well, I wouldn't say that I know you well, Gavin. It's more so I understand trauma and I understand patterns that come from trauma. I've seen a lot of cases, not calling you a case, but I've just seen a lot of different types of cases that humans are experiencing with trauma. And, you know, trust is trust is a hard thing. It's hard to trust people because we're humans, we're not perfect, and we're always going to do what's best for us, even after we consider what would be the most considerate thing for the other person, right? So, what can we trust? Well, we can trust our instincts. But is it your instincts that are speaking to you, Gavin, or is it your trauma that's speaking to you?
I think it's my trauma, and they're
Mhm.
pulling the wool over the eyes of my instincts.
Mhm. 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 You know how you can get back in touch with your instincts, Gavin, is through healing. Healing.
W Yeah,
Yeah, you just gotta heal. And you have to start with not only forgiving those that have deceived you, but forgiving yourself, right? You probably have you gone down this negative thought pattern of thinking that you're stupid and gullible because you believe such things and how could I have not seen it? Do you ever do that to yourself?
Well, sometimes, but I
Mhm.
I kind of feel that maybe, the outside world is it's just constant danger. You just
Mhm.
never know where trauma is gonna leap out at you. It
Mhm.
could be in a box of red vines, and I love red vines.
It could.
It could be in there.
It could be in there. You never know. You know, one time I experienced trauma from a frozen bag of cherries.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Bought my frozen fruit from Winco, and I like to have my delicious smoothies every morning, and it's happened to me twice where it was like a piece of plastic or something. It wasn't a cherry, it was something else. It almost looked like a really thick fingernail. It was so disgusting, I almost choked on it, now even when I buy my frozen fruit, not from Winco, I look through every single little piece of fruit before I put it in my blender. It's
I think that's
traumatic.
pretty smart. I mean, but you had a trauma, you learned from it, and then you adapted your
Mhm,
methods,
mhm.
so now, life can be a bowl of cherries and not fingernails for you because you have some control in that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't feel like I have any control. That, uh I feel that given the opportunity, people are just gonna eat me up, chew me up, and if I'm lucky, they'll spit me out. It's kinda how I
Mhm.
feel.
Okay. So, what do you feel like you don't have control of? You don't have control over yourself?
I don't have control over other people,
No one does.
and that's a problem
Why is that a problem? Why must you control other people?
because if I could control other people, I can control myself.
How so?
Well, there wouldn't be any unpleasant surprises, no trauma. I'd be in on all the jokes, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
Um, I'd be like, "Oh, Mickey Mouse. Well, that's a two-dimensionally animated anthropomorphic mouse person, but,
mhm,
in real life, that's not real." I'd be in
mhm,
on that. I fully
mhm,
expect a man or woman or gender neutral to be in that suit. It's fine,
mhm,
but I can manage my expectations that way, you know?
mhm, mhm,
Now, on the other hand, I wouldn't have pleasant surprises, probably wouldn't get excited about things, but that's
mhm,
where I am now anyway.
mhm, mhm. Well, why don't you just shift your perspective a little bit, right? We know that
Okay.
everything that we see is necessarily not true. I mean, come on, there's movies with all kinds of effects, there's all kinds of illusions, you know,
Uh,
and
yeah.
whenever you see something, instead of just automatically believing, why not just enjoy the idea of it and not necessarily believe it, right? You're in the
Are
present
you saying I should suspend disbelief?
in a way, to an extent. Like this background here.
Yes. Beautiful home you have.
It's not my home. It's just
You lied to me?
I didn't lie to you. I'm protecting myself from the weirdos out there. Have you seen Don't Fuck with Cats? Have you seen that documentary?
I actually refuse to watch it because I have cats, and I
I
don't
have
think I'm
cats
strong
too.
enough for that. I From what I've heard, I don't think I'd be able to handle that
It's
pretty well.
okay. There's only like he only tortures a couple cats, and then it has
What?
to do with a murder. He tortures like a couple cats,
Mm,
and it's not entirely gruesome, the cat part, but it is sad.
yeah.
But the reason why I choose to use, and I've never told my audience this before, I always pretend that this is my house. But the truth is, my real house is behind this screen here. And the reason why I do that is because I watch Don't Fuck with Cats, and there's these internet detectives. They're not actual detectives, but they're called internet detectives. And they could look at that picture on the back of your wall, Gavin, and do an internet search and find out who made that picture, how many prints were made, where it's been distributed. They can find out what color paint is on that wall and where it's available. They literally dissect everything they can see in your house to find out where you live.
Can I make a parallel?
Sure.
Are you saying that the person inside of Mickey Mouse was worried about internet detectives or fans of the mouse uh, learning about where he or she resides, and then had to cover their true face with the screen, being the Mickey Mouse outfit, to protect them from little African children like me?
You're very close, but it
Oh,
wasn't the person inside of Mickey Mouse that made that choice. The person
oh,
inside of Mickey Mouse is a puppet of Walt Disney and the Disney franchises. Did you know that everyone that works at Disneyland is not allowed to tell anyone that they work at Disneyland?
I didn't know that. But I
Yeah.
do know that they have underground tunnels and that they
Hmm.
have to smile all the
Yes.
time,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
is very disingenuous
it
because you
is.
couldn't possibly smile all the time.
No, it's all an illusion.
Do you
It's all an
suppose
illusion.
Disneyland is the root of my problem then? It goes deeper than Mickey Mouse. It could be the Walt himself?
Well, I think honestly, I think it's a good thing, Gavin, that you discovered that Walt Disney was an illusion and the whole Disneyland, Disney World experience was an illusion when you did. Because little girls grow up all the time hoping that a prince will take them away. There's a song called Fuck Disney now, because that's
Really?
unreal. Yes. I can't remember the name of the girl that sings it, but there's a song called Fuck Disney because she's so upset that there are no Prince Charmings out there. And they created this false expectation that we're all going to have some magic prince, knight in shining armor, take care of us and sweep us off our feet and take us to a palace when I'm not saying that what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but there are gentlemen out there, but that's few and far between. So I honestly think it's a good thing that you saw the lie at a young age, but we have to tweak it just a little bit rather than thinking that everyone is lying to you and everyone is deceitful. Well, then that may be true. Rather than doing that and victimizing yourself and sheltering yourself from the world, just expecting it in a way where you can be proactive in the choices that you make in your life. Does that make sense? You know how to look for
So
the clues now.
so I look for the clues. So I'm always on the case investigating the potential lie.
You're just being observant. It's not that you're trying to catch a lie, but just being observant, right? The
Yeah,
only reason that you're able to see that patch of skin is because you were in the moment. Mickey Mouse is right in front of you. You were absorbing every little thing about that mouse and you saw the
yeah.
flaw.
My senses were heightened.
Yeah, absolutely, Gavin. So if you stay in the present, you will catch the glitches in the matrix.
Okay. Okay, so like the movie The Matrix,
Mhm.
that was a movie where it wasn't illusions?
The whole matrix was an illusion. The whole world was an illusion, right?
The world or the Matrix? Because I thought the Matrix was the illusion,
The
but doesn't that
Matrix,
make the Matrix the truth?
yes, in a way. So the Matrix, they were in the real world, but in the Matrix, that was the world we perceive right now, right? We're in the Matrix
Yeah.
now, right?
Okay, so yeah. So it was the Matrix fault to make Mickey Mouse fake.
Mickey Mouse is part of the Matrix. Walt Disney is adding to the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds right.
it is. So, Gavin, are you going to go ahead and try to control the Matrix, which you know is impossible because there's someone else that controls the Matrix? There's someone else
Y
that controls the Matrix and made the Matrix that we're in. So, what is the one thing that you can do? You can control yourself and how you maneuver through the Matrix.
I don't have to take any blue pills.
I don't think so.
Cause what's the point of, overcoming erectile dysfunction to just handle the Matrix, am I right?
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably better not to indulge in sexual activity.
Not to indulge in sexual activity?